What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. Now, today is a special day for sports fans. Today's Selection Sunday, so fun stuff going on right now. Let me know down in the comment section down below who you have winning, your March Madness brackets and that stuff. This is being I'm making this video before the brackets have been announced, so I don't know yet, but let me know down in the comments. I'm just curious to see. But onto this video. What I will say before I even get into it. These are my opinions. Obviously, they don't reflect those of all Ravens fans. Let me know down in the comments if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to talk about Orlando Brown Jr. because Field Yates yesterday, tweeted out after the Chargers released Casey Hayward, saying that the Chargers are now at $46 million in cap space. The team's most obvious need is protection for Justin Herbert. While there are several veteran options on the open market, how about exploring a trade for Orlando Brown Jr., 24 years old, stud left tackle, and they can afford to pay him? So I kind of wanted to go into the Orlando Brown to the Chargers kind of trade discussion. Now, I've seen a lot of people that have been giving kind of ridiculous trade offers, things like the Ravens send Orlando Brown Jr. and they get back the Chargers' first and second round pick. No, that's not happening. I'm sorry, Ravens fan. I mean, if Eric DeCosta pulls that off, that would be probably the greatest trade in NFL history. That would be a better trade than the Cardinals' DeAndre Hopkins trade. The Chargers do not want to give up pick 13. And the Ravens obviously have said that they want a first-round pick. So what would the Ravens have to give up to be able to get that pick 13? In my opinion, they would probably have to give up their first-round pick. And I think what it would be a Ravens send Orlando Brown Jr. and pick 27 for pick 13 and the Chargers' second round pick, which is pick number 47. That would be an option, or the trade could be something like Orlando Brown Jr. and the Ravens' second round pick and maybe like a fourth or a fifth round pick for pick 13. I think the Ravens are less likely to do that because the Ravens understand the value of mid-round picks as they are cheaper, and the boom or bust, potential is very high, but very, very valuable. Being able to draft quality edge rushers, quality wide receivers, and quality, offensive linemen in the later rounds is very important. Even though a first-round pick is valuable. They get paid a lot of money, and if they don't hit, it's worth a lot. It's really, really detrimental to your team. I don't know why I couldn't say that, but overall, those are kind of the two options for just the picks. The other thing is they do have Mike Williams. He could be potentially involved in a trade. Would the Ravens really want Mike Williams? I think that he would be somebody that they could go after just because he does have great size. In my opinion, he is the best jump ball wide receiver in the NFL. Some people say it's DeAndre Hopkins. I completely disagree. I think Mike Williams is one of the best jump ball players in NFL history. He's not there with Calvin or Randy Moss, but he is on that tier below those two players in terms of the jump ball capabilities. You throw it up near Mike Williams, he will jump up and he will grab that football pretty much no matter who is guarding him. And why the Chargers would do this is because they do need to protect Justin Herbert. If you look at what happened to him, Joe Burrow got wrecked this last season. He got injured because of it, and he was getting, if you play Madden, he was getting hit stick pretty much every single play. Joe Burrow, it did not look good. And obviously the number one overall pick, he was the Heisman winner, a lot of potential, but he's injured. And when is he going to come back? Maybe by training camp. But you look at Justin Herbert, and he is somebody who did not have a good offensive line last year, and he played extremely well. I'm actually a big fan of Justin Herbert. I got a jersey of Justin Herbert in my closet right here, back there. But overall, the Chargers want to protect him. They saw what happened to Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers went through his entire career without really ever having even a competent offensive line. He got completely beat up, and they were never able to have success. So the Chargers understand that they need to get an offensive line if they want to be able to keep Justin Herbert safe and their team as even potentially being contenders in the future, because they understand how horrible injuries are. Their whole team seems to get injured every single year, which is very unfortunate. Whether it's Bosa, whether it's Derwin James, all those guys, they seem to get injured, and they want to protect those guys. So having a stud left tackle position on the offensive line is is an absolute need for this team. They released Trey Turner earlier this week, the right guard for the team, and they got a ton of money. So being able to pay Orlando Brown premium money, he would probably get a similar extension to probably what Ronnie Stanley got, and maybe even a little bit more because of inflation, but depending on the cap space in the future, we don't know, but it would be a lot of money. And they would be able to pay that money because the team is very young. They've got a young quarterback. He's on a rookie deal. So they would be able to do it. Now, for the Ravens, why would they want to do it? Pick 13, a lot of options. Wide receivers will be available at pick 13. Not a Jamar Chase, but potentially a Jalen Waddle. Now, I wouldn't really want a Jalen Waddle, but there are plenty of edge rushers. There are plenty of wide receivers, plenty of, maybe an offensive lineman slides, and the Ravens could draft him, but I do not know. There's a lot of viable options, at pick 13. So the Ravens training for that would obviously be valuable. The issue is pick 27 is a great spot to be in this draft for what the Ravens need. There will be at least one of the following available: either a very solid wide receiver, a very solid edge rusher, or a very solid safety, all available. And, I'm not a huge believer in that the Ravens need to draft a safety, but it is available, and that, they don't really think they could go with that if the Ravens front office seems to think that there is a big need at the safety position. So 27, I think the Ravens really want to keep because of what they'd be able to get at pick 27. But pick 13, I think, is a lot, and to be able to give that up, the Chargers would need a lot. So, in my opinion, the Ravens, in order to trade Orlando Brown Jr. to the Chargers, would probably have to send a pick as well, and probably a second-round pick in order to, and maybe maybe a second-round pick and maybe a future, maybe a second and a fifth, and they get back a Chargers sixth of that nature, something of that nature, to be able to get that without having to give up their first-round pick. But let me know down below in the comment section down below, what you would trade to get pick number 13, what the Chargers you think, what deal they would do, what would they need, and let me know if you even want to trade them to the Chargers. Maybe you don't want pick 13. Maybe you're more interested in 21. Maybe you're more interested in trading for Josh Allen from the Jaguars. Let me know. I'm very curious to see what all of you think. Let me know down in the comment section down below. And if you want to see Ravens daily content, make sure to hit subscribe because Mock Draft Monday is tomorrow. So I'm very excited for that. So thank you all for watching. See you all again next time.